By my calculations, it is Friday. And last week, I put up a video on Saturday because I forgot to put it up on Friday. And it did really, really well. But I don't know if that's because I put it up midday or because it went up on a Saturday or because it was just a good video. I don't know. Some things we never know. It'd be easier if someone could tell us what was happening, but no one ever does. But I do need to address a topic that someone raised in an email to me, and that is about the T-shirts I wear on camera. Now, on this channel, you'll notice I'm wearing a T-shirt that doesn't have a logo, picture, school name, or anything like that on it. It doesn't mention the manufacturer, but that's it. But it's pretty much a nondescript shirt compared to what I normally wear on my main channel. And I went back to look to see when it was that I started wearing T-shirts versus wearing shirts that had, I don't know, collars and buttons and pockets, and I've worn a suit or two. It turns out that it was season 4. And for those of you who don't know, if I were to number the years I made videos, starting with the beginning, I'm in season 10 right now. I've been doing this for 10 years. I did not put up daily videos for the first couple of years, but around season 3 or 4, I did. And it was in the middle of season 4 that I began wearing T-shirts on camera, not religiously, but relatively often. So I do 3 or 4 in a row wearing T-shirts, and also I'm wearing a button down or something. And then in season 5, I started wearing T-shirts more often, and then it became a thing at episode 5.100, the 100th video of season 5. I wore a T-shirt and never looked back. So many of the shirts I was wearing on camera were my own T-shirts. But I had people sending me T-shirts already back then. And people would send in a T-shirt and say, here, Steve, I wanted to get you a T-shirt. I know you like T-shirts. And what's funny is I will occasionally have somebody say, here's a T-shirt for you to wear on camera. But most T-shirts I get are literally just either in an envelope with no explanation, or they're in an envelope with a note saying, hey, Steve, add this to your collection. I was just thinking of you and I saw that it was for sale. And by the way, we're a double XL, XXL. So, in the address at the end of every video, okay, on my main channel. And so I started wearing shirts consistently about 5 years ago, okay, about 5 years ago. And so there's also some numbering issues. Don't get too bent out of shape on this, because number one, I stopped putting the numbers up on screen because I wasn't always putting videos up in the order I shot them in. But then also, I didn't start the seasons on January 1st until a few years in. So there's actually 1 year that doesn't quite have 365 days in it, but these are things that only me and like 2 other people care about. And I don't care about it that much. So I should point out, though, that the other thing I'm going to mention is I've said repeatedly that I'll wear a shirt on camera if it's for school or a place, so long as it's not political or obscene. Okay? So if you went to school someplace and you go, hey, I've never heard Steve mention this place or seen him wear a shirt from this place, and send it in, double XL, I'll wear it. And so that's just how that kind of evolved over time. And I will admit that I've gotten some shirts I can't wear on camera. And I've also gotten some shirts where I'm kind of like, I'm not sure about that. But one thing that I think is important to bring up here is that I got a note this past week from somebody who said, Steve, you need to do a better job of vetting the shirts you recommend on your channel. You need to do a better job vetting the shirts you recommend on your channel. And then he said that he bought a shirt based on my recommendation, and the shirt was low quality, and he thought he got ripped off. And so he sent a complaint to the people he bought the shirt from about the low quality of their shirt, and he was not pleased with how they dealt with him. And so he said, you need to think twice before you recommend them and their shirts. Now, here's the thing. I'm a busy man, but there are thousands of videos on my channel. I challenge you to find one where I said, hey, everybody, I'm wearing a shirt. I recommend you buy this shirt from and named a place. And what's funny is the guy told me the shirt that he thought I recommended. And it was a shirt I wore within the last month or so. And the funny thing is that I don't even know where it came from. someone mailed it to me with a note that said, hey, Steve, I saw this shirt and thought of you. And it was a generic shirt. It was not for a place, and it was not for a school. But it was something that tied in with a topic that I talked about. So it was not a typical shirt, but it was a shirt. But the shirt is available on the internet from more than one place. I never said where it came from because I don't know. It was sent to me by a viewer. And the viewer didn't say where it came from. The viewer just said, I saw this shirt, got it because I was thinking of you. Here, boom, XXL. Slap that on. And I did. But I never recommended the shirt. I never recommended a shirt maker. And just so we're clear here, I'm not recommending anybody buy the shirts I wear on camera. Not that I have anything against them, but that's not what my show is about. I'm not out here saying, hey, everybody, I tested 10 shirts this week. Let me give you my top 3 and the 3 I would never recommend you buy. This isn't a shirt shopping channel. That's not what I do. And the weird thing is that I almost never even acknowledge the shirt on camera. Meaning I don't ever say, oh, by the way, check out this shirt. I have once or twice. And I remember about 3 or 4 months ago, and I forgot what the topic was in my video. But I had one where the video I was shooting would have worked out perfectly with the shirt I wore in the previous video. And I made a comment on it. I said, oh, by the way, the shirt I wore in the last video would have tied in here. And I think on 1 or 2 occasions, I've actually had the shirts match up in a way that people might have thought I did it on purpose. And I've always said, this is just a coincidence, mere coincidence. I've got 2 t-shirt racks back there with about 150 shirts between them. And I take one off that end, put it on, put it over there, and they rotate through. So that's how that works. When I get a brand new shirt, I throw it in over there, I wear it, it works its way into the rotation. But I don't come out here and say, by the way, I highly recommend this shirt because this shirt's a high-quality shirt, it's comfortable, or I would never recommend this shirt because it's scratchy and itchy and it fell apart the first time I washed it. That's not what I'm doing. And so I felt kind of strange because I had to respond to the guy, and I said, by the way, I said, I don't know where that shirt came from. And so you mentioned someone you bought it from. If you simply Google, and I did, Google the saying on the shirt, you'll find 100 people selling them. And I'm sure there are varying qualities of that shirt out there. Depends on who you buy it from. But I certainly never said, here's where I bought mine or here's where mine came from. And I recommend you buy it. And so don't get me wrong. If you saw me wearing a shirt on camera that you liked, consider going out and buying it. But I'm not going to tell you where I bought it from because I don't know where it came from. And that's not what I'm doing here, okay? So again, likewise, stuff behind me. If you said, hey, Steve, I went to the store and I bought one of these die-cast models and it was junk. I'm really upset with you. Well, I don't recommend those either. I don't not recommend them. I just they're props on a set behind a guy who's talking into a camera that you're seeing on YouTube. That's all they are. So I did not recommend a shirt, and I never have as far as I know. Certainly never mentioned a place to go buy a shirt at. And so if you bought something that appeared on my show and said, hey, it's turned out to be junk, I'm mad at you. Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't tell you to do that. Now, it's true, once every week or so, you'll occasionally see a sponsored ad on my channel where I do recommend something. And I come out and say, this is an ad. I say at the beginning of the video, there'll be an ad at the end of the video. And then at the end of the video, I often say, and here's the ad I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And then I talk about a product, which I've tried, and I'll give you my opinion on the product. And then I will, in fact, tell you where to go if you're interested. But those are pretty clearly advertisements. Those are commercials. Those are, okay? But I've never done that for a t-shirt, okay? So want to make sure that's clear. But number 2, and this, I get asked this a lot, and this question I understand. I'm not upset by this. But I'll wear a shirt on camera for something to do with ham radios, amateur radio operators. And I'll get notes from somebody who go, hey, Steve, I'm a ham too. What's your call sign? And I write people back and say, I am not a ham radio operator. I've got a lot of them in my audience. I've got the tube over here sent me in by a guy who's now passed, but he was really into the hobby. And I've got all kinds of stuff on this set. Much of it I put there, but much of it has been sent in to me. So I've mentioned before that I have immense respect for people who served our country in any branch of any service. And so a while back, somebody sent me in this Coast Guard plaque. And I recently wore on camera a Coast Guard t-shirt. Didn't recommend anybody buy it, but it's a Coast Guard t-shirt. I did not serve in the Coast Guard. I did not serve in the U.S. Navy. And there's a couple others that pop up from time to time, license plates and so on, that have references to the military or branches of service. And I've had people ask me, oh, you must have been in the Coast Guard because you've got that plaque there. Well, if the stuff behind me all related to me, and these are like all my license plates, because I actually had somebody ask me, oh my gosh, did you ever actually have a car in Colorado? No, a viewer sent that in. So I'm not trying to mislead anybody by any of the stuff here. I think most people know that, especially if you watch my channel over the years, because there was a time when there was nothing behind me. Imagine that. I think to myself, if I were to put myself in front of a camera with nothing behind me, I'd feel like somehow I was in like a big empty space. But that could just be me. So the stuff behind me, much of it was sent in by viewers. I greatly appreciate that. But again, the distinction is people send me something and I appreciate it. If I wear it on camera, I appreciate it. But I'm not telling anybody go out and buy it from this one particular vendor because half the time I don't even know where it came from. And that's true with that t-shirt. So the t-shirt I wore on camera was a good t-shirt. I know that because I wore it. It was comfortable. It withstood the washing machine because when I got it, I washed it and I wore it. So it was seemingly a decent shirt, and I should know because I wear a different 2 or 3 shirts a day. But again, I wasn't endorsing it or vouching for it or trying to get anyone to buy one. Okay, I was just wearing the camera because that's what I do. So I apologize if anybody out there is confused by the mixed messages I was sending. But the stuff I wear on camera, I'm wearing it because people sent it in and I appreciate it. And that's what I'm doing here. But again, I did not vet the shirt nor its creator because that's not what I do. So I've had people send me notes, by the way, and say, Steve, you wore a shirt on camera. Can you tell me where to find that shirt? And the one I get asked about the most, believe it or not, I wore it about a month ago, I think. It says, I do not consent. I do not consent. And I actually did buy that one for myself off of Amazon. And I don't remember now what prompted me to go look for it, but I Googled, I do not consent t-shirt, and up popped a listing on Amazon. And I looked at it and said, oh, okay, buy it now, XXL. And so that's one I can actually tell you where I bought it. But I'm sure there is a vendor using Amazon, and I don't know that it came directly from Amazon or from a vendor. I don't know. I forgot. But that's a decent shirt also. But again, with respect to the other shirts, the Nimrod shirt from a school where their mascot's the Nimrods, I have no idea. I have no idea who made that shirt. I don't know. I don't know. I could find out either. It's hard to say. So there you go. But that's the situation with the shirts and some of the stuff on the set. And if you've got questions or comments, other than where'd you get that shirt from, because 99% of the time the answer is a viewer sent it in. Questions, comments, go below. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.